Hello, this is the Singe Beauty Agate Temptation palette, their second palette, the brands, and this was their first palette, which was Galactic Visitor. I'm really happy to create this look today. Very easy, very good. I also used their Singe Beauty Riveting Rhubarb blush. That's what I'm wearing. I demonstrate it. Then I used one of the blush brush for it. I used an eyeshadow brush from the brand. That's really what they have. They have the blushes and now 2 eyeshadows. I also, for my lipstick, I used MAC Velvet Teddy. Pretty excited to be using this. It's a beautiful color story. To be perfectly honest though, let me open the other one. And it was a palette of the year for me last year, Galactic Visitor. I honestly prefer Galactic Visitor's color story more, but that's personal preference. I mean, I thought about it and I counted the mattes because to me mattes are where it's at, although shimmers are beautiful. They have the exact same amount of shimmers that I love in Galactic Visitor as they do in Agate Temptation. So I'm like, do I really like the color story more if it's the same amount? But I just kind of like the cool tone and the blues that happen in here. But I also really enjoy this one. I'm happy to have both. I'm happy to be building my brand collection with palettes. So enjoy some swatches and my created look. First, we'll be using Singe Beauty Evocative Silk Blush in the shade Riveting Rhubarb with the Singe Beauty, what is that, F06 brush. That is the shade. Can you see that? Right there. Subtle. Subtle in that swatch. But we will get it on there. I'm not even using a mirror, which is very dangerous. I will pick up a mirror. But I feel like we already see that there. And I already put highlighter on. Turns out I think I have essentially 3 gold highlighters, not 2. I said that in my recent Glam Light, I want to call it War of the Worlds, but that's just so incredibly wrong. It's right there, Lord of the Rings. Oh my gosh. Lord of the Rings, I said I had 2 gold highlights, I was pretty sure. I think I have 3. So this one that I'm wearing is from ColourPop, but I think it was limited edition. It was in one of the heart-shaped compacts. So I don't think that they just make those. I think it's You're Glowing. But obviously that packaging is so cute, I really never want to get rid of it. Plus, I definitely enjoy that formula. So one of the things I like with this small blush brush is it's hard, I feel like, to get carried away. I love just kind of stamping blush on when I know it's relatively safe, but I generally use this for highlight. And my Natasha Denona Mini Dream blush trio, that's 2 blushes and a highlight. I like using that because I feel like it gives more precise control since that compact is so small and there's 3 products in there. But I think this is a good blush brush. It's not my favorite because I like to go in more wild and out of control, and this is definitely a control brush, which, personal preference. So I do enjoy it, but I enjoy it more for highlight, but that's just because I like to apply my blush like someone who has hay fever, as you can tell. Just put it on my nose, dab it everywhere. I kind of want more. I'm wondering if the light's too bright. It might make me look washed out. So that is the Singe Beauty Evocative Silk Blush in Riveting Rhubarb. I thought closer might have been better. So I was thinking I definitely want to use this shade, but I don't know quite the punch it has yet. So maybe going in with this and then adding that, or just trying our luck. So I guess I'll just go in with Moss. This is kind of a more dense brush from Colored Rain that is no more. I'm a little nervous that that might be a lot. So hopefully, okay, I think that's good. It shows up, but I did not want it to be too immediately intensely pigmented. I wanted to be able to create a blend. So I think it is doing that. I am curious though about that lighter shade. I don't know if it necessarily, any colors fit in a color story if you try hard enough. I'm sure, yeah, that is kind of intense. I'm sure it would go with this look, and we will more than likely be adding that in. I'm just kind of curious. I might tuck that somewhere. So I think I will just bring that instantly down since I've created that shape, and bring the shade Moss down and line the entire length of my lower lash line with it. I was definitely feeling green because I also, green seems to be a really in shade right now with a lot of palettes. So while it does have like geode, I was just trying to like not do such a poppy green, because I have done some poppy green looks, I feel like, recently in the Lord of the Rings palette, in Fantasy Cosmetica Ranger palette. Okay. I'm gonna match the other eye. And then a dense brush, Hourglass number 4, because I believe this isn't the most opaque shade, or it's not nearly as intensely Babam, because it is soft. It is soft shade. And I'm gonna, just curiosity, put that there. That's messy, but I'm gonna be able to blend that. I'm just kind of curious what that's like. So I'll just tuck that. Yeah, it is really messy, but yeah, I don't know if I like it with this look, which is, I'm glad that I wasn't making a main focus and I was just kind of testing it. So that's a good little test. And then definitely go back in with the brush I used for Moss and blend those edges. This is a soft shade, so it's pretty easy to blend that mess that I made. I was not trying to be, okay, I think that's fine. If those eyebrow hairs would get in place. I think that's fine. I mean, from this look, but I'm not done, so maybe if I can add it more later, but I don't know if I'm gonna want that, shade in there. And then I'm gonna go in with Slice into my crease. So I'm going to use a smaller brush. In fact, I may even use the Singe Beauty EO5, which is one of my, I have 4 almost identical style, very small outer V brushes. This is like one of my like top 2, I would say. The other one is Colored Rain. Then we have like a Refer 13. And then like a Cosmic Brushes, another small one. But this is an amazing shape. This is an amazing size, should I say, for small eyes. So take that, tap that off. Oh yeah, I guess I'll go back in and use the palette as my mirror, since it has, since it has a mirror. Carefully try to get close, since I usually keep moving further away. Just lean back. And I think that's showing up nicely. Yes, nice and green, nice and mossy. I don't think I'm gonna do too dark. I don't know. I'm not feeling very dark. Should I try it? Should I make it smoky? I generally don't do light and airy looks. Sometimes I do, but I'm one of those really heavy-handed people that usually thinks more is more. So it's like let's just bring more depth. Let's make it smokier. Okay. So this is blending very well. I knew it would. I had a strong suspicion. And I think these are obviously really pretty together. It's like they were in the same row. They're so nice. Okay. I'm just gonna do a little bit more blending because this is really nice. It's laying on top of it very well. There's no way for it to get muddy. They're in the same color family. Yeah, this very smooth blend, very easy. I'm just gonna make it match. I had such an easy time with that, just putting slice in, and because these work so well together, obviously, I feel like I didn't really have to do a lot of blending to make that pretty seamless, although it is smart to go back in and just, you know, do some edge work just for, you know, general seam blending. But I also did take a little bit more of moss and go back in because that's one of the things. It's like, don't forget, maybe lift the color. And this is my transition shade to help lift, because sometimes when you put the darker shade in, you realize, oh, it is kind of smaller than you intend. So then just blend up, blend out, just to help lift and make it larger. So that is often something I do. I'm like, oh, gotta make it bigger. Optical illusions. Make it bigger. Okay, I'm just so happy with it. I honestly don't really want to do a lot, but whenever I see people do reviews and they don't do a lot, I'm disappointed in that. So it's like, if you want a gentle look, do it on your own time. But, you know, maybe do a little bit more. So I guess, I don't know, plume or the, oh, you can't even see. Plume or the brown? Plume or the brown? Keep it green, add brown. Green. We're just making it all green. Oh, and that was already like my small brush. Okay, so I guess I'll just have to be really careful when I go in and even do it a little even tighter. See, this is a totally different tone. It's tonally different. Very tonally different, but it looks deeper. I don't know how I feel about this. Just looking at the color right there. I think it's fine. I don't think the colors don't go together. It's just the look that I'm envisioning, and I don't want to stray too much from the look that I'm envisioning. But so we'll just try to keep that not blown out. Try to keep that a little bit more. So then what I think I'm gonna have to do, once again, because I feel like I would prefer this to be a little bit more diffused. So now I'm gonna probably go back in with Slice, which was my original outer V shade, and blend it out with that. We're gonna do some blending. Oh, I was using this brush. It's fine, I have other ones. You know, maybe I'll just go back in. I'll do Slice. Oh no, I'm just gonna start using all my brushes for every shade will be on one brush, which is obviously chaos. So I'm very lightly doing this, very lightly. Just trying to create a soft blend. And if anything, in my mind, it's a good idea to do it lower, because if I do it lower, it'll make my eye appear larger. And because I already have eyes that curve up, I'm not really hurting the shape of it. I'm not dragging my eyes down. They are already, shape-wise, plenty lifted on their own. So I don't think that really drug anything down. Maybe go back in a little. Yeah, there's a difference. Okay, I will make it match. Naturally, I just want to do an all matte look, but we're also here for the beautiful shimmers. So we have crystallized. Oof. Oh man, I just feel like that is not even translating. Maybe when I swatch it, that is beautiful. And then this is quartz. You know, lovely, but man, did you see crystallized? So, crystallized. I mean, it's lovely, but I still feel like that is just not crystallized. Oh, I really want crystallized. And then what is translucent? Oh, it looks a little... Oh yeah, I was gonna say it has a little hint of green, but yeah, you really see it there. That's cool. Yeah, so probably the lid and then inner corner? Or would that be more heavenly? Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, bathe in that. That needs to go everywhere, obviously. I think I'll put a white base down. I believe I used that before, so white base. All right, we have the white base down and is definitely mixing with some green a little, but you know, it's kind of like a creamy product, so no surprise there. I'm getting like cat hair everywhere. When I originally sat down to start putting makeup on, I had a half an hour of my cat Apricot hopping up on my lap, and I had to pet her. So for like a half an hour, and I'm just sitting there just like rubbing her and petting her and like just getting cat hair everywhere. I'm like, this is gonna be a problem when I put makeup on. Wonder if I did that. Maybe if I do a little bit of the quartz here. Just curiosity. And then put the beautiful crystallized, I'm just using my fingers. Beautiful. Oh, so I think this would probably go better with a different brush than the way that I'm doing it. I can just feel it's not crystallized, isn't thick and foily feeling like quartz. As you can probably tell in the swatch, quartz is a bit more thick and foily. I really like that formula, but then things like crystallized has a, I am far away, it has a harder time kind of like swiping onto your eye. As something like a quartz is a bit more smooth, even though it's like a little thick and flaky and a little maybe chunky, but not exactly. But I think that's really pretty. And then I will grab a pencil brush from Hourglass and see how translucent goes. Dab that on. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's a nice glow. But I feel like it might be kind of taking away. No, it's because it's cool tone. It's like that really pale mossy. It's not even, what would that be, like a cool mint almost? I don't want it to take away from the warm tone green look I'm trying to have. And it makes me want to put crystallized a little higher. Build that up more. Okay, I'm gonna match the other eye, and I'm probably just gonna use eyeliner, liquid eyeliner, and not go in with like that Dendrick shade. I'm just gonna use liquid eyeliner. Ta-da! It's the finished look. So this is how I look from a distance, and then when you get closer, it's not any weirder, right? What did I do with the mirror? So I definitely like it. This was such easy blending. This is really pretty. I like it. What do you do when you already know you like something? I mean, I hadn't used the palette before, but I had a pretty good suspicion I was really going to enjoy it. I love this. I feel like these really red tone browns. Oh, I was so nervous. I just dug my finger in, but it like scraped here. I got very lucky. I feel like these type of red browns and these greens are very in. I've noticed that from indie brands, and I think it's really pretty. I feel like there's like more palettes that I would want, but it's kind of like the repeating color story and how many do I need? I was happy to try a new brand from Fantasy Cosmetica, had this kind of color story. I was happy to try a brand I already know I love, happy to get their second palette, Singe Beauty, Agate Temptation. It makes me definitely happy to try this out, and I really like this look. I enjoy this quality. These are good shadows. This was a palette of the year last year.